I won it. You're trespassing on my property. You didn't win shit in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
All right, fourth time the charm. Let's get it. Hello everyone, my name is Kaylin and welcome to my channel where we discuss, break down, and recommend movies and TV shows and occasionally other forms of media. The day has finally come, lords and ladies. The Channel 5 historical fiction miniseries Anne Boleyn, starring Jodie Turner-Smith as the tragic second wife of King Henry VIII. It's a 3-part miniseries and I'm going to be doing a review for each episode and maybe an overall review of the entire show. Let's get it! The show starts at the celebration of Catherine of Aragon's death. Catherine of Aragon was the first wife of King Henry VIII and they divorce, and Catherine is basically banished until her death, and is finally cemented as the sole legitimate queen now that her old rival Catherine is gone. At this point in time, Anne is pregnant for the 4th and final time, only has Elizabeth as her surviving child, and suffered from 2 miscarriages. Anne is confident that she will give birth to a healthy son and she tries to assert herself as queen. But gradually, everything is on the path of being torn apart. Her relationship with Henry becomes rocky because King Henry VIII is a scumbag, always have been a scumbag, and is just scumbagging it up as his wandering eye falls on to Jane Seymour, Anne's lady-in-waiting and newest rival. So let's start with the production of the show. It looks far better than what was presented in the trailer. The trailer was kind of lazy, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't do a great job selling the show. The portions they used for the trailer did not help or complement anything, but the overall look of the show is pretty decent and serviceable. It's not spectacular or impressive. They're really leaning on the acting for this one. Half of the costumes were pretty cheap looking in my opinion, especially the women's dresses. But the men's costumes did look really good in comparison. And it's disappointing, especially with some of the costuming for Anne Boleyn. One of the defining features of Anne Boleyn is her fashion sense. She knew how to dress, which was mostly in French style, which makes sense because she spent a good chunk of her life in France. And King Henry VIII loved her so much that he liked spending money on her. So sis was constantly on her drip. But Anne's costumes in the miniseries was disappointing. I know they have a limited budget, but still. Jodie Turner-Smith still looks very beautiful, and they do pick colors for her that are complementary. But the one thing about costumes that I did appreciate was her nightwear. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, really? The nightwear? Yes, the nightwear. Hear me out. I have words. Anne's nightwear is fantastic. They put her in a head wrap to protect that beautiful crown sitting on top of her gorgeous head. I was living for it. I'm glad they commit to details that involve race swapping Anne Boleyn, especially making her a black woman. In this historically fictional world, they acknowledge the importance of hair care and hair protection for a black woman. And I'm glad they did that and did not take the lazy route of not adding certain details. So yes ma'am, whoever did Jodie Turner-Smith's hair and makeup deserves an award for life. Again, for the people in the back, the makeup artist and the hairstylist deserves an award from life. From now to the end of time, they did their job. Jodie Turner-Smith's hair in this show is just beautiful. And what they do with her hair is like so creative. And even when it's not creative, it's still like so beautiful. Like, especially where she's having dinner with King Henry VIII. Whatever. And her hair is like half up, half down. And then her hair is just like cascading like over her shoulder, down her back. It's just, her hair though. Like the costumes are whatever, but the hair. My favorite look was in the beginning with their hair in this spirally, shimmery, like, I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to call it, but it was like this spirally, shimmery, gold something, a hairnet. That's what it was. It was a hairnet. And she has gold eyeshadow or gold coloring like on her eyes. And then she's wearing this gold dress and sis is just glowing. She looked like she woke up and chose Mount Olympus. Like she looked like she woke up and said goddess. She looked like she woke up and said God. She was golden. She looks golden. Come on, Jodie. Come on. The writing so far is not great. I'm not gonna lie. Some parts were lazy, especially the 2-minute long sequence of inner title cards info dumping. I feel there is a better way of telling all that information with, for example, maybe dialogue or maybe even a flashback, or just don't do the intertitles and go straight into the show. It would have been better in my opinion. The episode does feel rushed and choppy. The scenes do not have organic flow from one scene to another. Like, how scenes are weaved together feels more like a checklist. You get what I'm saying? Okay guys. We need to have this, we need to have that. Oh yeah, get that too, get it over it, put in the basket. In the basket right now. Oh, and don't forget that, and don't forget that. Oh, also get that too. You know, that kind of vibe. The writing of some people I did not like at all, and top one is Jane Rochford or Jane Boleyn. George Boleyn's wife, making Anne and Jane Rochford sister-in-laws. They're making Jane Rochford into a one-dimensional mean girl, and I'm not really vibing with it. The interaction with Jane Rochford and Anne is just weird. Like, who is you talking to like that? That is your queen. They're not blood related, they're only related by marriage. So where is this sudden courage this woman is getting to blatantly disrespect her queen? Like, girl, get out of here with that. Jane Rochford has a personal vendetta against Anne for no real good reason. I don't like it. Jane Rochford was not the best in history, but God, you didn't have to do her like this. Also, the writing for Henry VIII is not great either. Hopefully, he'll be more fleshed out as the series goes on, but right now he's barely in here, and when he's there, he's not giving anything. He's giving dust. Even though the episode felt rushed, there were still a lot of good scenes in here. Some of the scenes that I enjoyed was the interaction between George and Anne. I like how their relationship is presented. But the strongest scenes, in my opinion, in the entire episode was the interactions with Anne and Jane Seymour. Their relationship with each other feels more dynamic and more complicated. You feel on Anne's side, she doesn't feel animosity toward Jane Seymour, it's more frustration and helplessness. And then on Jane Seymour's side, you get a feeling that she's quite unsure of herself. She doesn't really seem like she really wants to be there. Sis is giving, bruh, I'm like sludging through job hours. Forced into a position she doesn't really want. To me, the standout scene was when Jane was like, oh, Jane, like, let's go for a walk, Jane. And then Jane's like, ugh. Are you gonna push me off a cliff? And Anne's like, nah, come on, let's go for a walk. And so they go on this walk. Anne asks Jane about marriage. Jane's like, oh, I just want honor and respect because I'm a basic girl who likes basic things. As always, Jane Seymour is presented as being mild-mannered, and I'm just a church girl who goes to church and reads her Bible. Except that you can't really read. And then Anne's like, yeah, sure, whatever, girl. The entire vibe of the scene was Anne letting her know that you are not on my level and you never will be. You're playing hopscotch, I'm playing chess. You're playing patty cake baker's man, and I'm playing war. You are not on my level and you never will be. Like, girl. Then she kissed Jane Seymour and I almost threw my laptop because I did not see that coming. And I'm not gonna lie, I was living for it. I got my life in because, be honest, we like this portion of history for the drama. King Henry VIII's relationships are messy, messy boots. And that's what that scene gave us. Messy, messy boots, and I live for it. Another scene that I thought was really good was the scene where George gave Anne a Bible that was translated to English. One of King Henry VIII's accomplishments was that after he separated England from the Catholic Church, he had the Bible translated in English for people who can read English can read the Bible. Because I think before then the Bible was printed or written in Latin, so only a very few people can read it. Anne is super excited about it, like, yeah, now people can read the Bible if they want. And then to once again show Jane Seymour that you are not on my level, you're playing hopscotch, I'm playing chess, and goes to the podium and tells Jane, oh, Shayla, could you please come up here and read something for me, please? And then Jane's like, oh, God, woman, can you just let me live for like 2 seconds? And then Anne's like, no, get up here. Anne tells Jane to read a passage from the Bible. Cause here's the thing about Jane Seymour. Jane wasn't as academic as Anne or Catherine of Aragon. I believe the most she could do was write her name. It's unclear if she could read or not. So Jane is reading the Bible and you can tell that she is struggling. And then Anne circles around her, puts a hand on her shoulder and basically radiates, you are nothing. You are not on my level. Like, girl, messy, messy boots. And then the classic scene of Anne walking in on Henry with Jane Seymour. I like how they did this scene. It was not salacious, scandalous, or lustful. No, it looked like a disgusting trash bag pestering a woman who can't say no. Cause how I interpret the scene, Jane didn't really seem like she was into it from jump. Cause when Anne walked in on them, Jane's body language, even before she realized she got caught by Anne, was kind of awkward. Her body was more turned away from him than toward him. And her hands were already tight on her lap before she even realized she got caught. It looked grimy and gross. Even her voice when she said, oh my lord, didn't sound romantic. It sounded more like, oh god, I have no choice but to entertain this creep. Then Anne snatches the locket from Jane Seymour. Again, this is me interpreting the scene. I saw that Anne's wheels were turning and then she realized, wait, it's not her, it's him. But I can't do anything to him because he has more power than me. So she slapped Jane Seymour instead, but you can tell what she really wanted to do was smack Henry out of existence. And even a fate such as that is too good for him. As you can already tell, I don't like King Henry VIII. No, I'm sorry. He is a trash bag bandit. But I like the interpretation of the scene. It was not lustful or romanticized. It was obviously a man abusing his power onto a woman who can't say no. So overall, even though there were good scenes, the writing was still not great. Weaving of all the scenes was not smooth. It felt rushed and a little amateurish. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, okay? Last, we can get into acting. So far, everyone is doing a great job. The actor for George Boleyn is amazing. He has great chemistry with Jodie Turner-Smith. The actress for Jane Seymour is also doing a great job. And the actress for Jane Rochford is not bad, but the writing for her is bad. Also, the actor who plays King Henry VIII is serviceable. He's just not giving enough high quality trash bag. You feel me? He doesn't have much screen presence. He just doesn't give enough brats with a crown because at the core, that's what King Henry VIII was. Say what you want about Jonathan Rhys Meyers as King Henry VIII in The Tudors. He was a high-key, spoiled, entitled, self-important, destructive guy. And Jonathan played that perfectly. But the actor for the miniseries, so far, he's not great, like he's good enough. But now we can get into the woman of the hour, Jodie Turner-Smith. Jodie Turner-Smith went off. She clocked into work. She laid everything down on the table. She came to do her job. She came in, she took her notes, she aced the exam, she got her PhD. She literally sits down and said, I am resting in my femininity. Again, for the people in the back, she said, I am resting in my femininity. Sis went to work. Sis woke up and she said, I am your queen now. Get into it. She's soft, sensual, but also intense and just frustrated. And you see that she has so many emotions just bubbling in her, but she can't let it all go. And you feel that, like, you feel her pain, you feel her frustration, you feel every single emotion. Also, her demeanor is always cool, sensual, like she sways around like she owns the place. She lays everything down with so much confidence, so much swagger, with so much sensual calm. It's just every sound and every movement she makes, you understand why someone like King Henry VIII will fall for someone like her. And you see that through every single thing that this woman does. Like, Jodie Turner-Smith literally woke up and chose queen. Jodie came into work. Overall, if I had to give the episode a rating, I would give it a 6.5. It is slightly above average. Jodie Turner-Smith just elevates everything. It's enjoyable enough to watch all the way through. There's enough drama, emotion, and intrigue. All the reasons why we love Tudor history is for the mess. We are all here for the trash. We are all here for the dramatics. Like, we are all here for the bougie intrigue. Well, that is it for the review for episode 1 for Channel 5 Anne Boleyn. I'll see you guys next time for a review for episode 2. I'm going to scrub my face with holy water, crawl into bed, just so I can wake up in tears. See you later.